Hello everyone, welcome to the course MERN Stack Marketplace Application 2023. So in this section we are going to work on the front-end setup of our MERN Stack application. So in the Visual Studio Code I have already created an empty folder called as the Shey MP, stands for Shey Marketplace. So in this root level folder I am going to create a front-end application with the name client. So I'm just clicking on the integrated terminal of the VS Code. Here you can see in the bottom I got the terminal. Now I am going to use the command npx followed by create hyphen react hyphen app followed by the application name client. So just hit the enter button. So it will create a new React application with the name client in the Shey MP folder. So these might take a while depending upon our system as well as the internet performance. So until then please wait. Alright guys, there we go. We got our application ready with the name client. Now to run this application we have to navigate into this client folder. So to navigate I am just typing the command cd client. Now I am in the client folder. Now we just need to execute this project. So let me use the command npm start. Okay, so by default it will go and run in the localhost 3000 port. I think my Edge window is already open. Let me close this out. So this will also take some time depending upon our internet performance. It's almost ready. Yeah, so here you can see my Microsoft Edge window got popped up and localhost 3000 is already present. So let me close this out. I'm going to use only Google Chrome. Okay. So once this is compiled, I'm going to open. It's still showing the starting the development server. Let me ready with localhost 3000. Yeah. Yes, no, still it didn't got compiled. It's taking more than usual time. I don't know why, maybe my internet connection is slow. Yes, it's done. Okay, so now if I hit the enter button, I got the default output for the React application. So this will be default for every React application, not only ours. So whatever the React application you create, so by default you are going to get this output only. So to start making the changes, first we need to navigate into the src folder, app.js. So this is the parent component. Okay, so get rid of the header and just put one h1 text with our project title. H1 text with our project title Shey MP, Shey Marketplace. Okay, so you can change your project title based on your requirement. Get rid of these import statements. We don't require any default CSS. Done. You can also delete this app.css file until unless you require. Okay, now go to the public index.html. So get rid of the all commented code. So and replace the project title with your own project. Okay, so for now I'm going to keep the project title as Shey MP dev. Okay, because right now it is in the dev, that is the reason I keep the name as dev. So always in our first tab we are going to have the deployed version. Here you can see this is the deployed version. So by seeing the prototype and design of the deployed version, we are going to develop the current version. Okay, so now let me go to the index.css. So even in the index.css also get rid of everything. Okay, done. So now we don't have any default styling for our application. Until unless we write any specific styling, there won't be any styling in this project. So I think we are ready with our basic setup of the React application. So in the next lecture, we are going to see how to install and set up the AntD in our application. Thank you. Welcome back, guys. In this lecture, we are going to work on the AntD installation as well as the demo of the AntD components. So first of all, let's open the official website of the AntD library. Okay. So and design, here you can see this is the first link we have to open. Yeah, and this is the official page of the Ant Design library. So the current version of the Ant Design is 5.0. So to see all the list of components that are available in the AntD, you just need to click on this Getting Started button. Okay. Yeah. So at the left side, you are going to have the list of components. At the center of the page, you are going to have the selected component documentation. So first we just need to install this Ant Design library to test these components. So I'm going back to our project. So let me terminate the job here. npm install AntD. So this is the only step you have to perform to get the AntD into our application. Okay. So just hit the enter button. Once it is installed, I'm going to restart the server again. Yeah. So it got installed. Now I'm going to restart the server. npm start. Now let's go back to the documentation. So select the button component as we discussed. Yeah, so here you can see in the left side the button component got highlighted. That means we are seeing the button component documentation. And at the right side you are going to have the different sections of the documentation. Okay, so right now we are going to see the demo of the primary button from the AntD. So you can see there are 5 different types of buttons: primary, default, dashed, text and link. So we are going to see the primary button. I think the server is getting restarted. Let me close this out. Yeah, so it got restarted. Refresh. Now let's see the code of the button component. So whatever it is, that means wherever the code symbol is present, just click on that. So you are going to get some sample code about this output. If you scroll down, yeah, so just copy this and put it here. We don't need this space component, we just need the button. Okay. Now, so I'm using the button component with the prop type is equal to primary. Okay, and I'm changing the text to AntD button. Okay, done. Let's refresh. Yeah, so we already got the button. Here you can see this is the default button. Now I'm going to change this prop type prop to some other value. Instead of primary, I am going to change it to dashed. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, so this is the dashed button. So dashed button is nothing but outline button. Okay, and let's see how the default looks. Yeah, so this is the default. So like this way we can change the props and we can get different styling from the AntD predefined styling. Okay, now let's see how to alter the AntD default styling. That means if I put the primary here, by default I am going to get the blue color as the AntD primary, but in our project our primary color is different. So I am going to have all the primary color should be this one only, whatever the AntD component is. So it is button, it is model pop-up, it is text or whatever. So the primary color should be this. So where we have to change. So obviously whenever you want to change in multiple places, we have to use the theme concept. So even in the AntD also we have the theme concept. Okay, so now I will show you how to do that. So I am not going to write any external CSS for this button. So I will just change the background color of this button using the theme only. Okay, so let me go to the parent component. Okay, so parent component in the sense you can use the index.js as well as the app.js. So anyhow our app component is present in the index.js, so I will use the index.js for the entity theming purpose. Okay, so in the index.js, first you have to import the config provider. Okay, config provider from entity. Okay, so now you have to wrap this app component in the config provider. Done. Yeah, so in this config provider you will be having a prop called as the theme. Okay, now in the theme we have to know, that means you want to change the primary color for all the entity components or for only the button. So right now we will see how to change the default colors for the button. Okay, so here I am just hitting the enter button and I will use the theme for components. Okay, components, and I will choose button component. So what I am going to change? So I am going to change primary color. Okay, color primary. So you will get the snippets also in the VS Code. Primary color. So I am going to copy the primary color from our deployed version. This is our primary color. Copy, paste it here. Done. Now let's see the output. Here you can see entity primary color got changed successfully. Now even you replicate the button also, you will get the same styling. Entity second button. You can see you got the same styling. So if you observe, we got one more issue. So when I hover on this, I am getting the blue color. So this is also you have to change. So here also you can apply one property, color bg on, sorry, hover, where it is, sorry, color primary hover. So color primary hover also same. So whenever we are hovering on the primary color also, I am going to get the same color. So the color will not change. You can see the color is not getting changed even if I hover. Okay, now so by default the border radius for every entity component will be 4px. So I am going to remove the border radius now. Border radius, instead of 10 I am going to make it 0. You can see the border radius got removed. So let me remove the second button. So this will lead to confusion. Yeah, so here you can see border radius got removed. Okay, so like this way, if you want to change any properties globally, that means if you want to apply some styling globally to the entity components, you can use the theme concept. So if you want the documentation about the theme concept, just go to the and design and search for the theme. Okay, so entity theme. Okay, customizing theme. You can see config provider. So token. So token in the sense if you want to apply any property for all the components, you can use the token prop. So right now they have given token in the token color primary is equal to some color. So it will apply the primary color to all the components. If model pop-up, buttons, text, select components, input fields, all the things, etc. So this is the token. So if you want to apply to specific component, you have to specify the components, then the component name, then the styling. So this is the theming concept in the entity. You can see. So you can go through this documentation to apply the theme based on your requirement. Okay. So in the next lecture, we are going to discuss about the Tailwind CSS. Thank you. Welcome back guys. In this lecture we are going to work on the Tailwind CSS installation and setup. So in the project we are going to use two external CSS libraries or frameworks, whatever you call it. So the first one will be Anti-D for building the components and the second one will be Tailwind CSS for the normal styling purpose. So if you don't know Tailwind CSS, you can use the Bootstrap as the alternative. So Tailwind CSS has more flexibility compared to Bootstrap. So that is the reason I have opted the Tailwind CSS for our normal styling as well as the classes. Okay. So let's open the official website of the Tailwind CSS. Tailwind CSS. So compared to Anti-D, Tailwind CSS installation is somewhat difficult. That means it will involve 2 to 3 steps. Okay. So first let me terminate the job here. Yeah. So get started. Click on the framework guides. Select the React tab. Yes. Now the first step is creating the React application. We have already done. Now the second step is npm install Tailwind CSS and npx Tailwind CSS init. So just copy the first statement, go to our terminal, paste it and hit the enter button. Okay. So after performing the first step you won't observe any changes, but after performing the second step you can observe some changes in our folder structure. So here you can see once you perform the second step you are going to get this tailwind.config.js file by default in our project folder structure. Okay, let's observe that. So right now we don't have any files in our client folder which are related to the Tailwind CSS, but when I perform this step, the moment it is done you are going to get the file. Okay, it's still not yet done. Yeah. So here you can see you got the tailwind.config.js. So this is the configuration file for the Tailwind CSS. That means for the Anti-D you have the theme provider, right? So for the Tailwind CSS you are going to have this tailwind.config.js. So everything will be working on the theme only. Okay. Now copy this and paste it in the tailwind.config.js. And then copy these 3 statements and put it in the index.css. Go to the index.css and paste it here. That's all. I think we are done with the configuration part. Now let's restart the server. Okay. npm start. So when you are using Tailwind CSS with the combination of any other UI library, you have to add one prop in the tailwind.config.js to avoid the overlapping of the styling. That is core plugins. Core plugins, you have to add the property preflight is equal to false. So it is not going to disturb any other CSS library styling. Okay. So the front-end server is getting restarted, so this time it will take more time because we got the Tailwind CSS into our application. So let's close this out. Let's refresh. I think it will not run because the server is still in execution. It is not yet completed. Yes, it's completed. Again it's showing compiled. Done. So here you can see our project compiled successfully. Now it is having 2 UI libraries, Tailwind CSS as well as the Anti-D. Now let's see the styling by using the combination of both Tailwind classes as well as the Anti-D components. Okay. Now my task is to put the button as well as this text in the center of the page. Okay, in a white background for this content, and for the body I want this background. Okay, so this is the task that we are going to perform with the help of the Tailwind CSS. Okay, so first we need the primary color in the Tailwind CSS also. Okay, go to the tailwind.config.js. So in the extend you have to add the colors primary So just have the primary, go to the index.css, sorry, index.js, copy our primary color and paste it here. That's all. So now you got the primary color for the Tailwind also. Okay. Now as per our task, we need the body background color as the white. So for the div in the app.js, I am going to have the class name as bg primary. That means background primary. Let's see the output. Yes, I got the background primary. Now I want the height to be full. So for that I am going to use height is equal to hscreen. Yes, I got the height center. Sorry, I got the height full. Now for this h1 and button, I want white background. Okay, so I'm just copying these two. I'm going to put these things in a separate div, and for this div I'm going to have the background color class name bg white. bg white in the sense background white. So if you hover on any Tailwind CSS class, you are going to get the appropriate CSS styling. Okay, yes, so I got the bg white. Now I want to put these things at the center, so I am going to use the class name flex justify center and items center. That's all. Here you can see I got the white background, text as well as the button. So if you want to see them clearly, just apply some padding. So I am applying p5 in the sense padding 20 pixels from all the sides. Okay, you can see you got the button as well as the text. Now if you observe, you got these spaces across the sides. So to remove that, just go to the index.css, put star. First property I am going to do is, yeah, I already got the snippet. So margin 0, padding 0, box sizing is equal to border box. So this should be mandatory. Now it will look good. Let's see. Here you can see all the padding and margin has gone. So the UI is looking as per our code. So like this way you can customize the entity styling with the Tailwind CSS classes. So to just increase the productivity of our timing, we are using the two external CSS libraries. Okay, so I think we are good with the front end things, React app setup, entity setup as well as the Tailwind CSS setup. So in the next lecture I am going to show you the folder structure as well as I am going to install all the npm modules that we will be using in our front end. Okay, thank you. Welcome back guys. In this lecture we are going to work on the folder structure as well as the npm modules installation in our front end. So first let me terminate the job. Okay, so I will start installing the npm modules one by one. First one is Axios for performing the API calls, React Router DOM for the routing purpose, Redux, React Redux and Redux.js / Toolkit. So these three are for the state management purpose. Then you are going to have the movement for working with time and date. Okay, I think right now these are enough. So if you require any other npm modules, we will install on the fly. Okay, so just hit the enter button. That's all. So here you can see all the things got installed. Now I am going to restart the server. Yeah, so meanwhile we can create the folders. So the first folder I am going to create in the src is pages, like login page, registration page, home page, all those stuff, etc. And the second one is components. So if you have any reusable components, you can put it in this folder. And then you will be having the Redux For all the files and folders which are related to the state management, you can keep it in the Redux folder. Okay. Now to test the React Router DOM, let me create the 3 pages: home, login, and register. Okay. So in every page I am going to create the index.js, RFCE, home. Go to the login, index.js, RFCE, login. Similarly, index.js, RFCE, register. That's all. So we got our 3 main pages ready. So let's go to the app.js, get rid of the content that we have practiced in the last 3 lectures, remove the class name also. Okay, we don't even require all these things. Just import the browser router from React Router DOM, as well as routes and route. Okay. Now keep the browser router as parent, routes as the next parent, then write the routes. So the first route will be home, second route will be login, third route will be register. Close the routes, close the browser router. Okay, the spelling is wrong. Yeah. Now let's import all these pages: home, login, and register. Done. So let's see. So as per our changes, we have to get a simple text in the home page in our output now. Yeah. So let me close this out. Even after refresh here, I have to get the same output, home. You can see here. Let me go to the login route, login page. Let me go to the registration page. Done. So we are done with the npm modules, folder structure, as well as the router setup. Then we are using 2 CDN links, not 2, only 1. Let me show you that. So if you include font, it will be 2. So the first one will be icons. So for the icons, we are going to use the remix icons CDN. Okay. So remix icon. So you need not to install any external library for the icons. So this is the CDN project of the icons, remix icons. So just scroll down. Yeah, so this is the link, href link. Copy and paste it in our index.html header. Above the title, I am going to paste it. And then coming to the font, I am not going to use the default font from our React app. So I will be using only one font, that is Montserrat. Okay, Montserrat font. Click on the first one. So I'll get it in the Google. Click on the import. Copy the import statement. Go to the index.css. Paste it here. And now to apply, you just need to use this font family property for star and put important. Okay. Now the font will be changed. Here you can see the font got changed. Done. So we are done with the basic setup as well as our front-end architecture. So as I said, React will be our main library. Tailwind CSS entity for the UI, that means entity for building the UI components, and Tailwind CSS for styling purpose. And coming to the remaining libraries, I have already explained why we are using those, like Axios, React Router DOM, Redux, all those stuff. So in the next section, we are going to enter into our actual project with the first section called as the authentication screens in the front end. Thank you.